Yeah. All right, so this is just gonna be a quick video. Big boy, what's poppin', bro? What's going on? All right, so I decided to do this a live instead of a regular video because I didn't want to record, edit, and do all that shit. So this is just gonna be like a completely raw video. It's gonna be like maybe 10 minutes long. I just want to give you guys a quick update on what's going on with the market right now and where we could potentially go. First of all, if you are in my VIP, if you are in my Discord in general, I did tell you guys that 3.6 was an area that I was targeting for crypto. Okay, I told you guys this. Wow, it feels really weird to play without music. I need to play music because it feels really weird to do a live without music. All right, there you go. We need some vibes. All right. Can you guys hear this? Can you guys hear this? All right, perfect. Anyways, so yeah, if you guys are in my Discord, I literally told you guys, first of all, can you look at the total excluding stables? Yeah, I'm gonna look at the total including stables right here, but that's of course, I mean, yeah, I think it's kind of more or less the same, but it's what we need to see right here is we need to see the total coming back down to 3.6. Okay, 3.6 is a very important area. And it's right here. This was the area when everyone went very high on leverage, very high on liquidity. We saw a double bottom right here. Turn music down a little bit. All right, 1 second. All right, tell me if this is good. Is this good? Is this good before I continue? Is this good? Let me know if this is good. We're gonna be talking about the CME chart. We're gonna be talking about a bunch of different things, but let me go back here. Okay, so we had a double bottom right here on the total right here. We came back down, retested, and then bang, that's when we exploded on the 12-hour time frame daily. That was not too long ago, believe it or not. We're talking about what happened on July 14th. Okay, now we need to come back down and grab this liquidity. I mentioned it a couple of times. I mentioned it a few times. We need to come back down and grab this liquidity, hence why the market right now is dumping. Now, if we have a look right here, the CME futures, a lot of people are saying another notch. All right, 1 second. All right, here. A lot of people think that we closed the CME gap. I see a lot of people on X are like, yeah, the CME gap has been closed, it's over, send it. And people are confusing with the Bitcoin chart. Okay, now of course the CME gap on the spot chart is completely different than the CME gap on the actual CME gap. Okay, people are like, okay, Bitcoin came down to 114,257, the gap has been filled. But no, the gap has not been filled. Actually, you guys can see right here that the gap on the CME chart has yet to be filled. We are approximately 0.42% away, or even more now, 1%. We were 0.42 from this lows right here. Okay, in my opinion, the CME gap still needs to be filled. It still needs to be filled. It will get filled very soon. It's only a matter of time. And of course, it's very too flashy of a background. Sorry for the criticism. Too flashy of a background. What's too flashy of a background? What? Oh, are you talking about the thing that moves? First of all, Joshua Hayde, I just want to say, first of all, welcome to the live. I'm assuming you are very new here. I've been doing these lives a lot of the times. If you have not joined the Discord, make sure you join the Discord. I am sorry that my background is, I don't know, shit, or I don't know what the complaints are, but welcome. Feel free to come to Discord and talk shit about my background, but I don't know what background you're talking about. I don't know if you're talking about the video background, the purple one that's moving like that. Okay, the purple one. Okay, yeah. The flash of okay, I'm sorry about that. People like it. Okay, anyways, going back right here into the Bitcoin, the BTC dot right here, currently down 1.65%. Here's the good thing. The good thing overall is that the Bitcoin dominance is holding nicely. Okay, that means altcoins are not bleeding as much. We are not seeing altcoins absolutely going to the moon. Okay, we're not seeing altcoins, we're not seeing the Bitcoin dominance going to the moon, which means that altcoins are not bleeding. Okay, you could see right here, ethereum is not down as much, XRP is not down. Yeah, it's down 2%, nothing too crazy. HBAR, Litecoin, by the way, Litecoin, guys, I am going big on Litecoin very soon. I did add more to my position on LTC, holding this support region pretty well. As long as Litecoin stays above this level, I will be super bullish in my opinion. Falling wedge is still in the area, only a matter of time before we break out. but we need to see the total, guys. We need to see the total coming back down. Now, can we have some sort of consolidation? Can we have some sort of pullback? Yes, I think we're gonna have some sort of pullback. Maybe we come back and retest 3.75. Maybe we see a quick little rally in you know, on altcoins, on Bitcoin, on whatnot. But overall, I do think that we will ultimately see 3.6. Maybe it's going to happen during the weekend. If you are not in my Discord and if you're not in my free VIP, I would highly suggest loading up on some cash, because we are about to go nuts on our trades. We are about to make a shit ton of money, and we are about to absolutely fucking print. Okay, I'm not trying to be cocky or anything, but we are about to make a crap ton of money. And I told you guys to be patient. I told you guys I'm not taking any trades. And this is exactly what is happening right now. Now, having a look at Bitcoin real quick, because I didn't really dissect Bitcoin. I do want to talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still in this pattern right here. As you guys can see, we are still in this channel. Okay, this is the channel that Bitcoin is in, and I told you that we were going to come back down and at least retest this level. I personally did not think that we were going to retest it this fast, but we did. Bitcoin is still making this lower high, lower low pattern. You guys can see right here, we're making lower highs right here, and we're making lower lows. Okay, so we are still in this pattern for Bitcoin. The big question is, are we going to get the rebound right here, or are we going to come back down, wick down to at least $113,000 before coming back up? I will be super bullish if we see a crazy wick to the downside before going to the upside. Let's have a look at the liquidations real quick. This is something very important. The liquidations in the last 24 hours of they're $629 million. Okay, now I told you guys we need to see at least a $1.2 to $1.5 billion liquidation in order for me to be bullish, or in order for other people to be bullish. Okay, this is not a lot for institutions. Institutions like BlackRock or market makers, 629, it's not going just to them. It's spread out by obviously a bunch of market makers, a bunch of exchanges, etc. So in my opinion, we need to see more liquidity being grabbed, at least in the billion. 629, especially when Bitcoin's sitting at $120,000, it is not a lot. It is not a lot. So in my opinion, we're most likely going to see a massive liquidation. A lot of people have orders right here, especially at $114,000. A lot. And people, especially on 100x, 200x, etc. If we have a look right here, I do want to bring up the liquidations. Actually, I'm going to bring it up right here just to explain to you guys some of the liquidations that we have, because we did grab a lot of liquidity. We did. I'm not saying we didn't, but we did. Okay, and you guys can see right here, you have a lot of cluster right here. There's a lot of cluster right here. I would say $114,000 to $113,000. There's a lot of cluster. We also have right here 100 to 50x leverage at 112,469. So it's very possible that we come down and wick before going back up. Now, if you guys were in my live a few hours ago, you guys know that I've been talking about this inverse head and shoulder that Bitcoin could potentially come back and retest. Okay, so this is the inverse head and shoulder that Bitcoin is currently in before reaching $160,000. Okay, we have the left shoulder right here. Obviously, we have the head right here. I'm not gonna zoom out, and then we have the right shoulder right here. Bitcoin can definitely come back down and retest to $111,000. That does not mean that Bitcoin will stay at $111,000 and just hang out. We could see a freaking fast wick, liquidate everyone possible before going up. Remember, we saw this massive wick. People are long here. A lot of people went long here. A lot of people on like 40x, 50x, 100x leverage went long there. If we take, again, have a look at the liquidations, there is not so much on the 3-day time frame. Okay, but people went long right here, they went long right here, etc. So let's have a look right here. Yeah, there is, and hey, here's the bullish thing. Okay, the bullish thing is that there's a shit ton of liquidity being built above $120,000. What does this mean? When Bitcoin does get to $120,000, we're gonna see a freaking squeeze all the way up to like $130,000. Okay, that's the good thing. Okay, this is gonna be the juicy part, and pretty much that's about it. Hello, bro, can you show me you get liquidation? What a setup. This is a setup called MDX Algo. It's worth like $1,200 to $10,000 depending on which package you get. This is not a sponsor whatsoever. Make sure you check MDX Algo if you're interested. Yeah, but that's about it. Now here's where the things are interesting. On the 8-hour, we did break below the EMA ribbons right here. I'm going to be having a look at other interesting things, but specifically on the daily, guys, we need to stay above the EMA ribbon in order to remain bullish on the daily time frame. If Bitcoin ends up falling below the exponential moving average on the daily time frame, that's going to be bad news bears. But you guys can see right here, we still have some good support. We have some good support right here. Bitcoin can fall down to as low as $112,000, which is a target that I mentioned earlier, and we could still essentially be bullish on that. So I'm not bearish on Bitcoin just yet. I'm not bearish on Bitcoin. If anything, this is exactly what we needed in order to continue to the upside, because if we don't have this shakeout, we're not going to essentially continue to the upside, and this could give us a nice little room for altcoins to absolutely explode. So like I said, guys, we need to see the total coming back down to 3.61. Nothing too crazy. We are below the exponential moving average on the 4-hour. We are below on the 8-hour. Like I said, maybe we're going to see a pump to 3.75, which it looks like that's what's trying. It looks like Bitcoin or the total is attempting to do something like that. Okay, it looks like we're attempting to go to 3.75. We're gonna have to see, but a consolidation will be healthy here. By the way, if you guys want to sign up with BYD5, the link will be in the description below. There's no better time. August 1st, new month, new day, new month, and new freaking, this thing does end in literally 4 days. Okay, this thing ends in 5 days, so make sure you guys sign up with BYD5. The link is pinned to the chat. You could get a massive $2,000 bonus, and on top of that, you could also get access to my free VIP Discord right here. You guys can see scalp signals, swing signals, market analysis, and VIP chat. If you guys want to print with us, like I said, make sure you guys join the Discord. Make sure you guys essentially join VIP. It is free. I'm not charging. The Discord is free and the VIP is free. Anyways, at 3.75, I told you guys right here, of course, eyeing 3.6 total. I told you guys that we need to see 3.6 total in order for us to see the altcoin season. So we're gonna have to see what happens in the weekend. Hopefully, the CME gap will completely be filled in the next 15 hours. That's when I believe the CME gap closes, if I'm not wrong. Let's have a look. 19 hours. Okay, so the CME chart, not gap, the CME chart does close in 19 hours. So we have some time. We have, in my opinion, if I want to be bullish on Bitcoin, especially for next week in crypto, we need to see that gap literally close before the weekend ends, because if it does not close, that's gonna be bad. That's gonna be bad. That's gonna be bad. That's gonna be bad. It won't be good. So hopefully we could get that closure. If you guys have any questions, make sure you guys comment below. If you guys want me to have a look at something, make sure you guys comment below, because I will be leaving shortly. So make sure you guys comment below. And of course, if you guys have any questions, make sure you guys join the Discord, but specifically join BYD5 if you want to get access to my free VIP. And pretty much that's about it. Ethereum is, by the way, something that I forgot to cover. Bitcoin needed that wick to the downside like every other month. There's never really been a month where Bitcoin just completely exploded to the upside. You guys can see right here that every freaking time, we always have these small little wicks to the downside every time. So it's okay to have a wick a little bit to the downside before essentially exploding to the upside. Yeah, I'm gonna check Doge and then I'm gonna check the CME gap in just a second. So Doge on the weekly, I covered Doge on the weekly right here on in the last video or in the last live, and I pretty much told you guys that Doge, as long as we hold this support, okay, as long as we hold the trend, we know the trend is your friend until it bends, we're gonna be okay. There's literally nothing to worry about on Doge. If we freaking fall below that, that could be pretty bad, but I don't see that happening. If you are long in Doge, I don't think we're gonna come down 20% now. I really do not think so. Of course, there's a possibility that it does happen, and pretty much that's about it. I'm gonna check now risk USDT. What is that? Can you explain the closed CME gap? All right, so the CME gap right here, it's very, very simple. Let me have a look at the daily right here. We know, first of all, that about 70 to 80% of gaps do get filled, as you guys know. I mean, I think that you guys know that. And we did have a gap, a massive gap back in on Thursday, July 10th. Pretty much what happened is that the CME, they're closing weekends, they're closing holidays. They kind of operate like how the stock market does, the future stock market. And but overall, they are open. I don't want to say 24/7, but they're open for a pretty big amount of time of the day. Not like kind of like the US 500 or the SPX 500 futures right here. And pretty much a gap is when the market closes and then Bitcoin, the spot Bitcoin price, pretty much explodes. So you guys can see right here, we saw the Bitcoin price absolutely exploding, and then we saw the CME gap right here pretty much open on Sunday night at a premium, I guess, at 118,400 instead of opening at 113,985. and pretty much that's what caused the gap. Okay, so people on the weekends, retail were buying, people were buying, and then it pretty much caused a gap on the CME chart. And now regarding filling, you guys saw a gap right here. What happened? We came back down, we filled it, right? We see all these gaps, they always get filled. We do have this small gap that has yet to be filled, and pretty much that's about it. But most of the time, guys, gaps do get filled. We saw this gap getting filled right here. We pumped, had a gap, came back down, corrected. We saw this gap getting filled right here, and pretty much that's about it. So gaps need to get filled. Most of the time they will get filled. Like I would say 100% of the time. No, I'm kidding. Like 80% of the time they do get filled. So out of 10 gaps, 8 gaps or 7 gaps will get filled. Yeah, so like I said, 70% to 80% of gaps do get filled. Not every gap gets filled. Not every gaps get filled. Yeah, not every gap gets closed, and sometimes, like let's say in the bear market, they come back and end up closing. But we saw a gap right here. You guys can see we saw a gap right here. What happened? We came, it took some time for it to fill, right? But we came back, ultimately we filled it. We wicked a little bit below, from like $77,000 to 74, and then we started the rally again. Okay, so it's very possible that we come back down a little bit below, like $112,000 before starting the rally to the upside. And pretty much that's about it. You guys can see we had a gap right here, came back down, came back up, retested it, refilled it. We filled this one. Yeah, but gaps get filled. It's kind of like a gap needs to get filled kind of like to reset the market, not to reset the market, but to like restabilize, I guess. You know, that I don't know why it's like that, but that's just how it is. Thought on ETH monthly close. We close above resistance depending on how you draw it. Yeah, let's have a look right here. Let's see. Let's have a look at, yeah, 114,100. Yeah, but the CME gap did not close that low. The CME gap is at, let me see. I'm gonna have a look at Ethereum on the monthly, but the CME gap is sitting right now at 113,895. That's what it is at. Yeah. It needs to go to at least $114,000. Yeah, I would say $114,000 is the current gap right now. Ethereum on the monthly is looking okay. Yeah, depending on how you draw that, we did close above it. If you draw the line like that, the trend line, yes, we did. But we also have another kind of like resistance area that if you actually draw it horizontally like that, we didn't technically close above it, but this could technically be a triple top, which makes Ethereum come back down to, let's say, 2,140. I don't know if that's going to happen. I doubt that's going to happen the way things are looking right now, but I don't think there's also any gaps on Ethereum. Let's have a look. Oh, we actually do have a gap on Ethereum, actually. Never mind. So this gap was filled right here not too long ago. We saw a gap right here on Ethereum. This was filled. We saw another gap right here, which was filled also. But we do have a gap right here at 2,845 that still need to get filled. I don't know if we come this low, but it's possible. Anything is possible. I just don't know if we come this low, but like I said, anything is possible. We're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see what happens. We're gonna have to see what happens, but I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if we're gonna come this low. I say 3,500 is my bottom for Ethereum right here. And depending on what happens on the total, that's also going to decide where the bottom is going to be, because ultimately we need to come back and grab this liquidity right here on the total. That's what's going to happen. I think we're going to come back down and grab right here at least 3.62, at least, but I think we're going to ultimately come back down to 3.61 and maybe wick to 3.55 before starting the rally to the upside. Maybe. But this is my video, guys. Overall, there's nothing too crazy. The market is a little bit shaky. Maybe we have a quick dead cat bounce to the upside. Maybe we retest 3.75 like I said like about 10 minutes ago. I've been live for about 20 minutes. I did say that this live was going to be 10 minutes. I didn't think that we were going to be here for this long, but this is going to be my quick video, guys. If you guys have not subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe. I usually go live every day. If you guys have not liked, make sure you guys like. If you guys have not joined the Discord, make sure you guys join the Discord right here. I will be pinning the Discord right here. And of course, if you guys want to trade with me on BYDFi and earn a $2,000 bonus, make sure you guys join BYDFi. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure if you guys have any questions, I will most likely answer your question on Discord. We have 1,400 people on there. There's also a bunch of good people to essentially answer your questions, a bunch of good traders, not just me. I'm trying to build the biggest crypto trading community ever, and yes, it's free, so I'm not charging anyone like other influencers. You have to charge $50 for the Discord. I am not doing that. I want everything to be pretty much free, and yeah, that's it. Anyways, thank you guys, peace out, and I'll catch you guys in my next stream.